Hey everyone, welcome to this little tutorial on editing. So there's been a lot of requests for how to achieve a certain vintage look or more of a warmer tone to your images. So I'm going to cover that a little bit in the editing part, but to be honest, a lot of it does also have to do with how you light the image in the first place. But I'm going to be using the images that were shot via webcam because that is where we have the least amount of control. So today I had a shoot with the beautiful Miss Jordan. She is a beautiful trans woman here in my city, and amazing model. So she reached out to me and was like, I see you're doing these things, let me do them too. So I was like, okay. Yeah, so this is obviously they're pre-edited here, but I'm going to show you the presets that I use to achieve that look. So we're going to start right from the beginning with how they look straight out of camera. So or straight out of the webcam, I guess would be a better thing. So we'll use this image. I like it because I see more face. So the presets that work the best to help me really achieve that warm tone right off the bat are going to be the Nomad presets from Tribe Archipelago. That's these ones here, and usually it's 05, 06, and 07 that achieves that kind of warmer vintage tone. Usually 05. I like the way it pops a little green into the shadows. So that's the one that I usually will apply. And now it's still a bit brighter than I would like, so I bring it down a bit, up the contrast just a smidge, and really bring in a bit of warmth that way. So now Jordan does have beautiful brown skin to begin with, so this just warms up the image a little bit. Again, let's show the before and after. Let's go left and right. So that's what it looked like before, and then that's what it looks like after. So you can see it's already a bit warmer than it was previously. So that is one way. I'll go through a few of the other presets that I have. What's happening here? I don't want any of those. There we go. So I'll go through a few of the other presets and see if we can achieve a similar kind of vibe. So yeah, so if we go down here, that one's just a bit of a pinkier tone of warmth. These ones are a bit more of the yellow. I like when the green is in the shadows a little bit because I find that gives it more of a vintage flair. That one doesn't have the green, but is still warm, and so on. As well, I think it's not those ones. Is it the Odyssey ones? It might be the Wayfarer ones, and I don't have the Wayfarer ones on this computer, but the Archipelago Wayfarer ones have even a preset that's literally called Gold, and it will warm up the tone for you really nicely. These particular ones don't have it, so it will be in that one. The other good thing about the Tribe presets is that you can add grain if you want, like while you're in Lightroom. If you don't, technically, if I edit this like here, I would not need to do any more, and that's one of the things I've been doing lately with my shoots for people, is trying to do it all in Lightroom, because there's not much work otherwise we need to do in Photoshop, to be honest, because you can't really do the usual skin edit. So like that would be fine. I might bring down, I like that level of grain a bit, and again, that we find down here, and you can adjust as much or as little as you want. So that you can do that to just get it straight out, and then in Photoshop you can add your crinkly textures or things like rips and tears and things like that, that we have in the preset in the texture packs. Again, that is using the Tribe Archipelago Nomad ones, and I do have an affiliate link for it, so if you want to use that, I won't say no. And then these ones just bring out the texture a bit more. You can see it ups the contrast a little bit. All right, so let's move on to so other presets that I have here. Mark Seligman's. I'm not really enjoying them too much for the webcam photos. I personally do not like, I don't know, it's just something about, I like when they look a bit more grainier, though I know some people like more of a clear look, so these ones will also help you achieve that kind of smoothness sans the grain and textury parts. And you just kind of tweak it a little bit till you like it. But yeah, those ones are pretty good. I have the Epic Film Pack, so they are designed to be a bit more warm anyways. Like even if you're using them on non-webcam photos, they tend to be lean more towards the vintage warmer tones, kind of oranges and like bright cyans and things like that. So they're pretty nice. And then I have Ryan McKinnon's presets. Let me reset these so we go back to normal. So if we go on Ryan McKinnon's, his tend to veer more towards the cooler side. And more blues in the shadows. But there are ones where he bumps up the orange a lot. And I think that might be the 1-3. Yeah, I did actually like this with the blue. Like everything was blue, but they were just not texture-y enough for what I liked. So for this particular set, those were not what I was going for. Then we have Jasmine Jade's Boudoir Tone presets. There's a lot of different options here. Like these ones are really good if you really like the smooth, kind of more high fashion vibe. I would say if you're going for more of an 80s look than a like, or like 90s glam look and beyond, like into now, as opposed to vintage, these ones are really good to help you achieve that nice, smooth, glossy skin that became very popular in the 80s. So she does a really good job. There's that one there. I think I showed that one when I did Noelle's images. So it has the green added in. It is a bit more pinky, but it is cooler tone, you can see here, which obviously doesn't help us achieve the warm look that we were asked about. So there's this beautiful one. That one brings it in a bit warmer. Let's see what else we got. Going down. So these again are if you want presets. If you want to create your own, you definitely can just by playing around with the levels and temperatures and things like that on the right hand side, of course. But I know people were asking, where do we get the things to edit? Like that one's really beautiful. So those ones are Jasmine's. Then I have, these are those presets that I did not know what the hell they were. The ones that add light leaks on. Oh, this one isn't. I clicked on one of the other ones. There we go, light leak. So these ones are from Chic presets, they're called. So even if I apply a preset, we'll just say we like that one just for fun for now. You'll click that and then you can apply the light leak over top of the preset you've already chosen. So it doesn't take away the previous preset, if that makes sense. So those ones are okay, but the problem is for me, I like to keep a little bit of the border in. To me, it just kind of is a sign of the experience of how I was shooting and so on. So it just adds an element of cinematicness to it, I guess. So I tend to keep that in, so the light leaks don't make much sense when they're going over top of the sides. All right. Okay, so then we have here, these ones are from the Chic ones as well. They have different colors that just like go over the whole thing. But again, I find them a little too heavy-handed, so I don't like those. Then I downloaded these presets. These ones are meant for Lightroom mobile. So these ones might be more if you want to work online, but I did put them on my computer as well, just because why not? And these ones I cannot remember where they came from. It was like one of those things that gets advertised on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, let's give them a try and see what happens. The other ones that I've been using a lot to achieve kind of more of a vintage are these ones I'm clicking on right now that are, you can see they're not as bright. That means they're missing certain elements that don't exist in this version of Lightroom anymore. Like Lightroom doesn't do that. But these are the Blissful Maven presets. I don't know if she still has them, to be honest, but they are like, I had never found a use for them until now. Like, they did not work with my usual work, but for some reason, I don't know, they tend to work really well with the way I've been shooting these webcam photos. So yeah, I guess there's a moral in there somewhere, I'm sure, about getting things and then keeping them and then, yeah, whatever. Anyways, lots of different options to choose from there, but I like hers. So how they work, because again, this is a very overexposed photo. She was on a white wall. You can tell when I apply it, it's not as super, I don't know, super well, to me, I don't like the way that looks as much. But if I simply bring down the exposure, you can see it brings in the contrast that is more commonly seen in my work, and then I can play around with these tabs a bit more. So I like that part of her presets, in that they give me the ability to carve out the shadows and the highlights as opposed to just slapping it on, I guess. So yeah, that one is like blown way the hell out because that's even underexposed. So we would go boop like that. So yeah, literally these never worked on my regular photos, but on these work like a charm. I don't know. These GD ones, also, they were from the same pack as the 84, just a different variety that they had in there. That's another Blissful Maven one. Then I have the Heck Yeah ones. These ones are Ben Sasso's presets. I bought them a long time ago, and again, they were a bit too green tinged for me. I'm not sure if his camera lended itself more to a magenta, so then when he created his presets, they geared more towards a greener vibe. But with my camera and photos, I don't know, not a huge fan of those ones. But they must work for his work because he does amazing work. So there you have it. Some more of the Blissful Maven ones, different shades and stuff like that. These are mine, the ones that I usually use in the studio. So these ones are not terrible. But again, like that one, I really like the look of that. But it just doesn't have that texture to it. Like, I love the grittiness of the other ones. This one's more, again, of a high fashion kind of vibe. Which, for me, when I shoot these kind, I don't really feel that. I feel it's more of a vintage aesthetic, and I want to play that up as much as I can in the editing. That one's not too bad. So that one is the one that I use in my studio the most. I named everything after Kevin Lowry, because he gave me a black and white preset and I didn't want it to get lost. So I just put every time I made a new preset after that, I just put Kevin in front of it so they'd all be together. The LXCO ones, those ones are really good too. I think they don't sell those anymore. Those are through Tribe Archipelago as well. The Nomad ones are kind of an offshoot of the LXC, so that was one of the best things like that sold me on the Nomad ones was that. They're just a bit more high contrast than Nomad, and they're not as punchy, I feel. Yeah. So then we have the one that I've really been loving from Blissful Maven is Old School. This one gives me that softness. There's like a lack of clarity that, especially for my backlit photos, those ones have been my absolute favorite to use this with because it just blows everything out. And then if I do want to bring down the haze, I can bring up my dehaze thing here and bring the clarity up if I wanted to, but I love the softness that it gives. That way. So again, that's the Blissful Maven preset there. These PP3, PP4, whatever, those ones come from the same thing as those other ones where I don't know where they came from. Again, not really feeling the way they work with webcam photos. But, I mean, they lend themselves to some interesting vibes. I don't know, I just can't figure out those with these. So, they work okay with outdoor photos when I have more of a overexposed image or perfectly exposed image, but not so much for the kind of light that I love to work with. Let's see what else I got here. These ones are, more of those vintage ones. Or not vintage, but the ones that I don't know where they came from. This is what happens, I just hoard presets. So some of the other ones that I used to use that are more on my other studio computer, like that's a beautiful black and white. The ones that I use on my other computer, I have all the VSCO ones. I don't even think, do they still make those? I don't even know. But those ones work really, really well for more vintage aesthetic kind of stuff. So if you are editing on your phone, VSCO also has an app which does pretty good. It's again pretty kind of heavy-handed as far as the contrast and things like that, but it has all the tools to be able to minimize it if you want to, and then save your presets for the ones that you desire to be able to apply them later. So yeah, so that's kind of like to achieve the warm glow first. I think doing it first in Lightroom or setting the base in Lightroom is secondary to the lighting of the scene itself. So again, these images were not lit in a warm way because again it was with a webcam with just natural light in a very white kitchen and a white wall. So this is the light that we had. It wasn't anything, it was pretty neutral. So Nomad was the ones that I went for to achieve that really warm look. Yeah, so that is it for the Lightroom kind of tutorial part of it and setting the base. In the next video, I'll show you a bit more in Photoshop how you can continue to build upon the foundation that you build in Lightroom to take your photo kind of to the next level. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.